Hello, I'm Mick, and I'd just like to do a short video about ghosts and paranormal research. Well, we all know what ghosts are, or what we think they are, and I'd just like to point out a few things. When someone actually sees a ghost, or what we call a ghost, either physically or in the form of mist, or an apparition, or through a photograph, that type of thing, it's basically telling us that it's there. What we're seeing is a reality. It's like, it comes under the heading of paranormal, but in actual fact, this sort of thing goes on all the time, always has done, and probably always will. When someone sees a ghost, they can see a ghost just walking past, or some old haunted place, and that ghost, 9 times out of 10, will not know you're there. It will just be getting on with its business. It's trapped in time somewhere. It just gets on with it. Other times, it's a bit like psychometry. When we feel an old object and we touch it and we concentrate on that and we feel the energies of the past owners, the present owners, places, areas where this object has been. That's like the book version of a ghost. And when we see ghosts and we cross their path, that's like the video version of the same thing. Now, with different variations of these ghosts, it really depends on what's been going on with them, really. Some are trapped in time, some are wandering through time, through the grey area that I call, from neither here nor there, which a lot of it is to do with their mind frame when they die. And then we get our hunters who go out looking for ghosts, which is good, it's very interesting, there's nothing wrong with it, but there's a few dangers there. The fact is, at the end of the day, some of these ghosts that look like ghosts are actually not ghosts, they're actually spirits. And they're still in the dimension that they're in, where they can still do things that they used to do when they were here. So sometimes just because they don't communicate doesn't mean that they don't know you're there. Generally they don't, because they're just ghosts in their own time. But sometimes they look like ghosts, but they're actually spirits, and they're actually here in this dimension. The nearest spiritual dimension to us is really the most undesirable. Most of the time, them guys there will be around somewhere. And the point I'm trying to make is, when you go looking, there's a couple of things that really I find really imperative. Firstly, you need spiritual protection. You need to go there with the utmost intent that you're there really for research, say hello, to find out, see what's going on. You're not there to harm or anything else, or take, or do anything wrong. The spiritual protection is very, very important, because you can go there and in your mind thinking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But the fact is, you need to tell the universe why you're there. You need to put it out there and say, you want spiritual protection. You're only there to learn. You're not there to experience things that you might find undesirable. So no one knows until you put the thought out there. So that's one thing. And if you think that's rubbish, well, when you finish looking at this, on your computer, switch on your protection package and just see how many times you've been attacked in the last 24 hours. Who attacked you, where'd they come from, what are they, and why? Answer me that. Because you can't. I've been involved with this sort of thing for most of my life. And what I'm telling you is true. You need spiritual protection. You should do it. Because I'm going to do another short video after this one about spirit attachment. And that really explains it all. But at the end of the day, while we're dealing with this, what we've got to understand is we're in another dimension. We don't understand properly what's going on. None of us do. But some of us have got more experience than others, and when we've got some experience, we need responsibly to put out there what we have learned, or what's in history, what we've found, or what our experiences are. So everyone can learn off of each other. Everyone should be learning every day. Well, the second point, very important, if you come across any of these spirit beings, 2 things. One, they may not be human, which I'm not going to comment on this video. I'm going to do one, but not now, because that's quite rare. But the other thing, the human spirit form that you come across may have been a very, very undesirable, nasty person when they walked on the earth plane. And some of the ghost hunters and researchers go in there shouting and hollering, like the programs on the TV are just really a bit of a joke, really. And some of them have even got mediums who still don't tell the public about protection, and they still shout and holler at the spirits, not even knowing who they are. And then for connecting, they use Ouija boards, and these are supposed to be professional mediums as well. It's like, sorry, no. Firstly, you don't go aggravating spirits that you don't know who they are. They could be murderers in there who are still in between two worlds. And as I say, my spiritual attachment video will explain a lot more. But, you know, you wouldn't talk to someone in the street the way some of these guys on TV talk to the spirits, calling them names and all the rest of it. I mean, some of these guys are very powerful, and they've got great abilities. And just because no one's been hurt or nothing bad's happened on record, well, it has, but I mean, in the media, so to speak, doesn't mean it can't or won't. You've got to show some respect. I've seen too much of it. It's really ridiculous. Because you just don't do that. You don't do it in this. All they are, they're the same as us. But they're not driving these bodies. That's it. That's the only difference. They're another dimension. But we do cross paths. So I think when we go looking, we need to first really adopt the spiritual protection. We need to master that. And the other thing is show some respect. And don't do Ouija boards on TV, or don't do Ouija boards willy-nilly. They're a very, very dangerous tool. They work. That's why they're so dangerous. Should be left only to the professional medium. And the guys I've seen on telly definitely ain't professional mediums. Got no responsibility whatsoever. And if anything was said, they would take no accountability either. And people, if they're going out and they're copying this, please research it a bit better than what you're getting off the TV, because the TV sucks. It's nothing like what it should be and what's in reality. You know, there's lots and lots of ways around it. It's like, i.e. knowing your personal guide properly. So you've got someone there with you on the other side to direct things. All spirit contact, in all honesty, if you're going direct, should always be done through your guide. We've all got a guide called doorkeeper guide, gatekeeper guide, whatever you want to call them, but they're with us through this incarnation. And you can trust them. But you have to make sure that when you start to deal with them, or you start to understand them, they are who they say they are. They are the right ones. And when you get to that point, you will know. Definitely, you will know. But put your thoughts out to them. Talk to them. They are there. They've been there all the time. They will help you. Just because you don't know their name, or you haven't seen them, or you haven't met them, doesn't mean they're not there. They are there. So please, everyone, the paranormal research is great. Ghosts are fascinating. I'm always fascinated by the whole thing. I just want to say, please consider the spiritual protection, and please be respectful, because they're just us. But the thing you need to really consider is that in between that, there's good and bad there, just as there is good and bad. When I say good and bad, it's not really good and bad. It's just some nasty people and there's some nice people. We all know that. And some of these guys keep the same personality. Well, we all keep the same personality when we pass over. It's all part of the spiritual evolution. Please don't take too much notice of us on TV. It's all about money on TV. I don't care what's out there as long as people view. A lot of it is rubbish. And no right-minded medium or psychic researcher was going to go around throwing their weight around and insulting behaviour and calling spirit names. They just don't do it, and you shouldn't do it. Because one day you could come across one who's going to get really wound up, and then you're in big trouble. And believe me, these things do happen all the time. So please, just consider what I just said. Thanks very much.